Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of the Mediocre at Best podcast. See, because I had to edit the last one.
You went in, there was no breath. You're like, episode 8, so I was like, wow, okay.
Because I noticed, like the way you, this is not me criticising, but it was kind of like, the way you did it was kind of like, hello guys, and welcome to the 7th, hello, you know. The thing is though, we can build into fuck all energy and depression.
That's true, we want to go into that. we don't want to open with fuck all energy.
Audience retention for 5 minutes at least would be lovely.
Yeah, but no, we don't want to promise them what they're not going to get. And I've just realised, I don't know if I've locked the door. So I'm just going to double check that. Talk amongst yourselves.
A one-man podcast.
It was locked. That was a big...
Good roll.
That was much ado about nothing.
I'd have to fill a lot more time than that.
Nope, that was much ado about nothing. Now, James.
Okay.
I was in charge of the drink situation for
Very
this week.
excited.
And this is based on something you said last week. So last week, if you remember, you said you went to the shop and they didn't really have anything.
Yeah.
And you were between two different drinks, right?
No.
So you said you were between those energy drinks and iced tea. So I got some iced tea.
I've never had iced tea in my life.
Do you want peach or raspberry iced tea, James?
Raspberry's probably a bit up my street.
Okay.
I'll go with... Right.
I quite like iced tea.
The concept of iced tea just sounds...
Do you like iced coffee? Because you're more of a coffee person
I
anyway.
do like iced coffee, but things are...
Do you like tea? I don't know if you do.
I like tea, but I wouldn't drink fruity tea.
Fruity?
Fruity
That was
tea.
good, wasn't it?
Well in.
There is some content.
Started off with some top class comedy, thank you very much.
Oh, it doesn't get much wittier than fruity.
Twat. Right.
I'm excited to hear you. You're either going to love it or hate it. I've never tried the raspberry one. Out of 10? Out of 10.
Like, it's kind of... It's just...
I really like it. I love an iced tea.
Like, alright, you know...
What kind of fucking reviews? Alright.
Thing is though, it does what it says on the tin.
It is tea that is cold. It is cold tea.
It is cold tea that tastes like raspberry.
So you can't really have go at it.
The concept's just a bit... You know, that's why I went with the Powerade looking things last time.
Yeah, but I thought,
childhood memories.
To be fair, I was at the shop, I was like, we've exhausted most of it. It was either that or something else, Rubicon. I was like, let's slow down on the Rubicon a bit.
We're gonna have to find a third shop to get these
Because it's either the
drinks.
little shop by yours or the campus shop here.
You know,
next time I go to tell you what, I need to do an online shop soon. So when I do that, I might get into stock.
You do online shopping?
I can't bother to walk. You're right by Tesco. I've got to like a trek.
I walk to Lidl quite often, you know. Bit cheap, isn't it? So, you know, it's just kind of like...
an online shop. They deliver it right to the door. Not even to the lodge, to the door. So I'm like...
It's sexy. To be fair, they can't really do
great.
that cheap because you can't really get the roads.
It's great. But like, if you get like... This is really niche content. But if you get like Domino's or anything like that, it all gets delivered to the lodge. So like the central bit. But then food shopping comes straight here. So I'm like, why wouldn't you?
Nice.
Yeah, so I literally... They bring it to the door in their baskets. I'm like, cheers.
Lovely.
Off they go. So online shopping is the way forward.
You're looking lovely today.
Oh, thank you, James.
So, do you ever get that thing where you kind of like, is that, by the way, like, side note, have you got like a GoPro or something?
Yeah, I do.
When did you buy that?
I've had it for ages. I just thought, you know, we'll put a little...
Get you, eh?
Yeah, I know.
Proper little videographer.
Is that the word? Video? It doesn't sound right. Video? Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, that is right.
It doesn't sound...
That's the right word.
It sounds like too many syllables. Video... I don't know.
It's the right word, yeah.
Yeah,
I am right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, like...
Thank you, James.
Do you ever feel like you don't like... Because sometimes I feel like I'll go, when was the last time I like... And it's obviously, you know, like, it genuinely is like a nice... But sometimes I feel like people don't compliment other people enough.
I agree.
And
I think especially... This could get quite deep, but especially within like male, like... friend groups, like, it's just not a thing.
No.
Like, I feel like girls go, oh, I like your hair, or your makeup's a bit... But yeah, I know what you mean. I did say nice trim as you walked in there. I did say nice trim. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I feel like within...
I mean, we are pufters, so we kind of, you know...
Refer to earlier clip of We Can Say That. Jesus Christ.
Lip to iced tea's a bit, you know. Quite right.
Oh, it is.
Now that's stereotyping, and we don't do that yet. To be fair,
Right,
to
I
be
love
fair.
this. Oh my god.
So as you just mentioned, I got a trim today.
I thought you were going to say, I just mentioned I'm a puffed out. So where's that going?
Because I sent you a text that made me think, yeah, I can actually talk about this on the podcast.
Okay.
What text did I send you describing my my
Oh, you
experience?
said, yeah, so you were like, I had an abusive trim, and I was like, I literally said, abusive question mark? You're like, yep. I was like, okay, is that all we're getting?
So, you know how obviously the females of this world probably won't understand this, but at the end of like a proper, like a barber's, like when they do your cut,
Oh no.
get like the brush, and you know, like
Just sort of get rid of the hair. Like,
wipe it down.
Did he just like
No, genuinely.
like a chisel and hammer? Just like
The first time he did it, I was like a little like yelp. I was trying like not to like.
Was he proper like? Was that one of those like straw brushes that
Yeah, as you
use on
literally.
like concrete?
I felt like I was getting fucking caned. Like it was painful.
So that-
And my skin, like I didn't know if it was going to come up a little bit of a mark because you know my skin's not great.
Yeah, we spoke before this podcast. You can't even have hot showers for like your skin. Like, I'm surprised you have to talk like gashes on your head from where there's brushes.
I mean, this leads me into the whole. I get very anxious in the barber's experience.
Okay.
So basically, it feels like I'm not. I know I come across very, very confident. I am not amazing in like scenarios of people I don't know very well, and the barbers is one of those things. And it's probably one of the worst ways I can get anxious because you're sat down in a chair with people you don't know, locked in, and there's a mirror.
So you can see them, they can see you, you can see yourself, and you're just sort of like.
And the worst thing for me is like eyes and face. Like, where am I supposed to be looking? Am I supposed to be looking down? Am I supposed to be looking at you? Like, facially, am I supposed to be like smiling all the way through? Am I supposed to be frowning? Like, masks, fantastic.
Masks are the best. I have not been to a barber's since COVID's been a thing. I've never had to.
Really?
Well, the thing is, so.
How do you trim?
How do you trim?
How do you trim?
So, before COVID happened, we've got this, you'll know, Barber Co. Is that Barber's Co? Is that what it's called? It's in the village by. What's the road called? I don't know.
I'll take your word for
There's
it.
a barber called Barber Co. And it's run by two people, lovely people. I've gone there like pretty much my whole life. So I know them. It's like when I have a haircut, I can have a full on conversation because I know these people now. And then obviously COVID they shut, but because my mum's what's the Tory, she listens.
She watches the podcast.
So my mum has some, because to be fair, getting a haircut like for women is different like for men. So she has someone who comes to the house and cuts her hair because she's very like, I feel like very particular about who cuts their hair. So usually she'll just do everyone. So like if my dad or she'll be like, oh, I can cut anyone else's hair if you want, and it'll be like, right, convenient. So if she's there and I'm there and I'm not working, I'm like, well, yeah, fine. And that's the only two like people that have ever like.
Okay.
And I don't want to find a new barber today because it scares like. And also, you're putting a lot of trust into this person. Yeah. You're trusting. You cannot fix like. If they fuck it up, that's it. You're done.
Have I put the right trust in?
No.
I think that's the one good thing about my experience in Fally is better than Western because not only.
Sorry. Can I really annoyed him.
Yeah.
It's not.
Deformed lid.
Sorry. I took it off and the. What is. I've got one fucking job. Sorry.
Lid.
Oh. Fucking hell.
So the one bad thing about Falmouth is it probably takes them about like 5 minutes longer to get the damn thing done.
Right. Okay.
Good things about Falmouth. I think the trim is better.
Yeah.
To the bar.
Nice.
I quite like
It's very
it.
clean. I like
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I did wash it, to be fair.
Not what I meant.
And the fact barbers are quite laddie, but the Western barbers that basically I'm used to it, so I don't really want to change because then I'll get even more anxious. But the Western barbers I go to is like very like lads, oi banter. And it's like I'm anxious enough please don't get me involved in your pathetic lad banter.
Yeah. Oh my god. I went to. So this was one time where my normal barber shop was shut for like. I don't know why, it was just shut for a bit. And then I had to go to another one.
Okay.
The first thing I sit down, did you watch football last night? And I was like, mate, don't, you're talking to the wrong person, like, don't.
The thing is though, I would be happy
You'd
with
be
that.
happy with it, but I was just like, I've got nothing, man, I'm not even going to lie to you, I've got nothing to say to that.
Because I say this quite a lot, but the only, like, properly male thing I have going for me is football. Apart from that, not to stereotype here, I am a fucking buff.
I've got nothing. Nothing.
It's right. I can shout about United. Apart from that,
Actually, no. To be fair though, there was one time I had a haircut. And it was during the Euros. So the husband was like, "Don't worry, mate. I do." I was like, "No, mate." I was like, "I know. I watched it."
that Harry Maguire header. Wow. Up the slab head.
I was gonna say, "Back in slab."
I love him. I love him.
What, the barber or Harry Maguire?
Harry Maguire, mate. None of our audience care about football.
No.
I think that's it for my opening. I have some stories that I didn't have to write down.
Yeah, no, that was. Was that not on your topics list? Was that?
Obviously, I had the haircut today, so it kind of went from being slapped to going.
But
you know what? I can give my anxiety about barbers.
We've done like a 10-minute segment now on something we didn't write.
Thing is though, we are always so energetic. Our opening 10 minutes when we're not writing it down, and then it's like things that we've like written down.
Right. This is actually one of my things I've written down. Yours goes down. and it's something
Synergy.
that
Synergy.
that the Super Carlin Brothers podcast, Popcorn Culture, spoke about quite a while ago. They've said how we are so bad at this, and it's segueing like between topics. I feel like we cannot do it efficiently at all. Like, which we're like, so, and I just feel like we need to try and get better at like linking. Like sometimes we'll do it, we'll be like, oh, that was amazing, but sometimes we're just like, there's no way we can.
I mean, you'll know better than I do. In the Super Carlin podcast, because I think I listened to one episode. It's not really like. Is it mostly like nerd things and then like a little bit of life? Or is it all a bit? Because to be fair, if it was all nerd things, I'd go, you know what, nerd things are quite easy to like swap in and out of. Life things.
It's like, it feels like an extension of their vlogs. Because they'll speak about things sort of more in depth that happened in their vlogs. And so I enjoy it because I enjoy them now more. We've said this right. I enjoy them more now as people than the Super Carlin Brothers. I have not watched the Super Carlin Brothers video in yonks. Not even gonna lie.
I think for us though, like we are just like we are indescribable as a podcast because we like literally nothing is off limits.
No,
and we've
no,
talked
like,
about doing a damn Monopoly podcast.
There's no theme. There's no theme to end. Like some people, we want to do like that. We want to do a nerd pod. We want to do nothing. We're just gonna waffle.
There'll be some nerds. There'll be some random stories. Like
I did actually want to thank because Jim, we've had a lot of like support on the podcast, like, especially the last episode did really well. Yeah. So I just want to say thanks to like legends, like actually watching it for a good amount of time. Like
people actually vaguely like it.
I know it's good, isn't it? But
taste
subscribers is a bit. Views are good, but if you want to like just wouldn't hurt.
Hit that subscribe button and hit that bell. That was the worst promo.
That was terrible. That was shocking. If anyone does it from that,
it's like you're setting them a challenge to not subscribe. Subscribe, please.
Yeah, no, actually, please do.
Please,
because like the views are good. Like we're getting good views. We're getting good like.
You're watching it.
Yeah,
you're not subscribing, and that's a bit pathetic.
I'm not going to go that far.
It is. Sorry, boost my ego. Subscribe, and it is as well. To be fair. What's your topic?
Did you say about subscribing to me? I can pick this up. Cheers. I was busy. I've written something down. I don't even know what it means.
Oh, good. Right, that's one of your notes struck on me, isn't it?
Oh my god. Right. Okay. So.
Oh my god. Right.
Right. I just written no pockets. I was like, what does that mean? No pockets. Right.
Right. What's going on, my love?
So. I've been getting back into health and fitnessy stuff.
Well,
as I do for this year, right?
Lovely. Don't drop it off February.
Why do no, like, running shorts have pockets?
Yes.
None of them. No exercise. And if they do, they're like really small or they don't have. Is that just me and I'm not buying? But no, if they do have a pocket, it's little for like a key. I'm not taking my fucking key. I'm taking my phone so I can listen to music.
To be fair, I get a lot of my workout stuff from Gymshark, and they have pockets.
I'm not rich enough for Gymshark.
Basically, I was earning money, so I had a phase, and now I have no money. So basically, any clothing I have is what I now live in for the next 3 years. But no, a lot of those have pockets. Thing is, though, what I find with Gymshark workout shorts, this is very niche.
It's incredibly niche, but let's go.
It's a battle because you can either get the thin ones. The material isn't the most comfortable, but you get zip pockets.
Right.
Or you get like the joggery style shorts, which for working out is the best. Yeah. Pockets, no zip.
Yeah, and so if you
another zip pocket.
Yeah, you've got it. Even like at the gym, like if you're doing like the row machine was my favourite thing to do at the gym. But it feels like your pocket. If your phone's in your pocket, it feels like put it on the floor. It's a nightmare.
I never. I don't think there's a way to do the rowing machine wrong. I never particularly felt like, if I went for a run, or if I go on, I go on a Stairmaster, or if I,
the cross
trainer. Thank you, words. I always, feel my heart rate going up. I never really feel it with
what's it called? It's not called a rowing machine. It's definitely got a proper name.
No, it's called
something. But it's definitely called something.
No, it's called a row machine. Pretty sure it's called a row machine.
I think it is, but I think it's.
Is there an official?
Name. Is it just a rowing machine?
Yeah, it's just a rower.
Oh, I thought it had a proper name. Do excuse me, I'm talking shit.
Thing is, for me, I just enjoy weightlifting more than I do cardio, so I just try and do heavy compound movements. And to be fair, that if you are squatting heavy, that gets your heart rate up.
Yeah. No.
So that's what I try and do my steps. I try and
get your steps.
Go for a wee little jog when I can, but it's just dull, and I'd much rather just lift some weights and eat a bit less.
Do you know what
if I'm 100% honest.
Do you know what I really started enjoying recently? Is walks. I never used to like walking. I'm like, why? Unless I'm walking because I'm going somewhere, why am I walking? But actually, I quite enjoy walks at the moment. Literally just around campus.
I've been trying to get 10,000 steps in a day. I'll show you. I'll have a look, and I know yesterday was more like 2,000. Thing is though, what benefit is because obviously it's 10,000 steps, as in from midnight to midnight.
Yes.
If I'm on a night out the night before, I'll get a couple of thousand steps in, so I only have to,
nice.
Which isn't ideal.
No, I like that. That's good.
So from last Sunday,
yes,
I've got four completed it, 3 didn't.
Okay.
No, 4 and 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah, 4 completed, 4 didn't. So that's about half success rate. And the other days are more like 5, 6. I think there's 1, 2.
But it's still not terrible.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to eat less. I had a really because obviously it's January, so everyone's reminded of their weight loss goals. I had a really depressing day where I was just like, oh, I need to eat less. So I had a soup for lunch and then chicken and broccoli for dinner.
That is.
And I went to bed just James, you're just killing yourself.
That's mental. Soup, I get behind soup. I don't mind a bit of soup, but the chicken, was it literally just plain chicken breast?
No, well, I seasoned it.
Yeah, but it wasn't
that actually transitions me very well. Because we were talking. I don't know why I need the phone to. See, I talked about a good transition, and then
you had a good transition. You segued that so well, and you still went for your phone.
The thing is, though, I know exactly what I want to say, but I'm still kind of there, I need to check the note. But I know exactly what I want to say.
Heart, James, go on.
So this is probably the most depressing story I've ever told on the.
Oh, is this what you said to me? We had to tell.
So basically, I have a vaguely deep story that I wanted to talk about, and it does link.
You're getting slightly out of frame.
I'm trying to get emotional.
I don't know what you know that whole emotional story. I'm editing back and you're not in frame.
So, it's to be fair, it's not actually like that. It's just the most like probably
The most deep we've got.
deep is like it's the most deep I've gone on the podcast. Body image, bit fucking shit, mate.
Yeah, not ideal.
So I have struggled with body image issues for quite a while, and something happens to me over Christmas that actually made me fucking not saying as in I suddenly gained clinical depression through this incident, but it put me through it. So I went to work, and basically so I came back to work, and to be fair, on the scale, this fucking isn't true, which pisses me off, because I haven't really lost much weight, but I've maintained my weight through uni, if that makes sense. And so someone who I knew but wasn't like that friendly with, like, comes up to me, and we're having a little conversation. It's a little bit funny, and she goes up to me and goes, "Oh, you put weight on at uni, haven't you?" And it was kind of like it like, because it's one of those things with obviously you expect the world to see. I expect to go into my day-to-day business, and if people look at me and notice me, they're not going to go, "That man is skinny."
Yeah.
But
That's
when someone has actively said something that isn't true, because I know it wasn't out of spite. I know she won't have meant it to upset me, and I have almost definitely before probably been too honest with someone that's caused a similar thing. But I guess, what are your opinions on just body shaming, body image, because it is fucked.
It's not great. I think the problem is like, there's so much that can be attached to body image, like, as in, like, if someone said something like that, they don't know why that's happened. Like, something massive could have happened where you've say, like a family grief or something like that could have happened, like a massive life change where it's caused you to gain weight or and yeah, I think it's pretty fucked to like bring it, like, I just like think, like, you can't stop yourself thinking it, but don't fucking say it, like, and I mean, say it, and if you do want to say it, if you like, there's nicer ways that there's, because like, you might want to bring it up from like a health, like from like a I want to be a good person and check if you're okay. Say it like, yeah, maybe that's, yeah.
It was the way it came across. It was made as like it was put across as a joke. It definitely wasn't there to like be a warning or like a health thing. Yeah. I mean, it was just a badly. It's one of those things where you don't know what other people are sensitive to, because, like I said, like body image issues and everything, I've gone through. I've gone through some awful like binge eating like phases where it's been like, you know, like psychologically like really ropes, and it's just, you know, it like there's a sensitivity to that where, you know, because some people would argue that it's clear if body shaming is a good way to motivate someone, it's working because you've been trying to lose weight. I'll be honest, I've come back to uni and I've lost like a couple of pounds.
Well in,
bigger, but you know, it's like at the end of the day, I know I'm a bit fat. Like it's like someone comments, "James, you know, your face is a little bit red," and I'm going like, "Yeah, my skin is a little bit shit. I think I can tell, you know."
No, I don't mean that. Like, people say it as if you didn't like. It's like, "Oh, really? Thank you for putting that."
People say it like they're fucking Newton discovering gravity, and you're like, "Fuck off."
That's exactly what it is. You go like, "Well, yes." Thank you.
Good one. Well done.
Good job you pointed that out. Never would have fucking known that. Yeah, prick.
Honestly, White people. I'm sorry, that's a real generalisation. It's a generalisation.
I also don't think that makes sense. I don't think that links to this at all. Jesus Christ.
So yeah.
Let's end it just white.
just felt like I needed to know. Because similar things have happened before, and it's always white people, to be fair. there was a lack of sensitivity. So if you...
No.
No,
absolutely not.
No.
The fact that you were going to say that.
I'm just...
Fucking hell.
Fuck it.
So, I'm going to attempt to segue. No, like,
right, if you're trying to achieve...
It doesn't work as a segue.
If you're trying to achieve a successful segue...
it doesn't work as a segue.
The first thing you should not do is going, I'm going to segue now.
It doesn't work as a segue at all.
So is it just... I'm going to change topics.
Something that's happened in the past... So there's been a show that's been released in the past week. A final series of a show that's been released in the past week.
Love it.
And it's a show that we both tweeted about. And my tweets went quite well. Like, for me, I'm pretty happy with it. It's done quite well.
Was it?
And
did Ricky himself like it?
He did not, I'm afraid.
Oh, bastard.
And that's Afterlife. So Afterlife, there was a Netflix show by Ricky Gervais, amazing, 3 seasons, and the 3rd season, final season, had just been released. And we both watched all of it already. Yeah, I watched it literally the first day. I watched it all. Thoughts?
Right.
Left. I'm sorry, that was...
You're a cunt. I think, compared to the first couple of seasons, and I'd like us to, this might sound weird, but rank the seasons, because I think they're all actually quite different in a weird way. I think things that were working for the series are amplified a lot. A couple of the things... And to be fair, I really do want to focus on the positives because overall, incredibly positive experience. A couple of the bits that don't work about it in previous series are amplified in a bad way.
I said, so I did 3 tweets about Afterlife. One of them, so the first one I said was only, I think it was like halfway through watching the 3rd series. So I said Afterlife might be one of the greatest, most genius, most heartbreaking pieces of work ever produced. Props to Ricky Gervais, big up. And then I said, this was after I'd finished it, I said I was struggling to see how they were going to end Afterlife 3 in a way that felt right, but fucking hell did they knock it out the absolute park. Not ashamed to say it made me bawl my eyes out, the whole series, not just the finale. Those are my 2 thoughts on Afterlife, and I will stand by them.
That's pretty damn true.
Like, it is so well done. The way we speak quite a lot about mental health in the podcast, and how, like, we said in my Jim and Hanson video how it's depicted in media and how that didn't do it great, but this I think has done it probably one of the best I've ever seen it. And like the way Ricky wrote and plays the character of Tony is just incredible. I think, oh, it's such a good series. And like there are a few things where I was like, didn't need that. That was a bit like I wasn't a big fan of the, like, I don't know what his name is, the guy with like the glasses, the long hair, the kid in the bath, that whole thing. That I felt a bit like, it's not adding anything, but it's nice to have different...
Because each Afterlife series is about 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I genuinely feel like there is a way to edit that entire series into like 3, like or maybe like a 6-part, like 1 hour series, or like where you do like the whole thing. Obviously, I think, you know, the one benefit of having a lot of filler is, you know, it shows the passage of time better.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of filler.
Yeah, I think especially in this last series, there was a lot of things where I was a bit like,
is it Brian?
Brian, that's, yeah.
And I've never really found the character that great.
No.
In this series, I really didn't enjoy that character.
And I feel like they were trying to give the character like too much, to the point where I was like, it's somewhat taking away from the story, which is Tony and dealing with the loss of Lisa, and then with I don't know what the other one was called, the care worker.
Ashley Jensen.
Yeah, I was going to say Ashley Jensen was I don't know what the character's called.
Thing is though, the certain like the arcs of not even just like Ricky Gervais's arc. You've got like Kath's arc in like all of the series.
I love them.
Ashley Jensen's arc.
It's just fucking Jennifer from the Nativity.
To be fair, she'll always be like best in extras for me. Big up David Bradley.
Oh, David Bradley.
Oh, the postman stuff still isn't funny.
No, and that's annoying because I quite like Joe Wilkinson. So the fact that the postman stuff isn't funny is quite upsetting.
There were some characters that didn't come back that I found. I'm not sure if it was like they couldn't come back, but one of the things the series does right in terms of thing is, and bearing in mind they still have his mates. I was never fond of the He's called Tony Psychiatrist on Google. I always thought all of that.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like, because that's the one problem with Afterlife is some of it feels so deep and so real, and then you have characters like that who are just so overblown and exaggerated and just don't exist.
Yeah, I think that's the problem because Afterlife is like it's a very real show in that the things in it could happen. There's nothing that's like no one's got like supers or anything like that. But yeah, I agree. In characters like that, you're like, oh come on, like that. No one's like that.
No.
Like no one. And you can agree some of the things that Ricky does. You're like that's a bit like exaggerated. But yeah, I agree that.
Did Sandy actually leave in the like in the second?
No, Sandy didn't leave in the second one, but she wasn't in the third one. I don't think Sandy left.
I have a half a memory that she met. Did she get a job? A big paper or something?
Maybe she did.
But then she was fighting to save the paper in the second series.
Yeah, it doesn't make. Yeah, her whole.
And obviously Roxy's mentioned through passing dialogue,
but wasn't there.
And I quite like that, so I've been happy.
I like Lenny, the other guy. He's so good. That was one of the best scenes in the whole. I think in the whole like of the first, second, and third. The scene where Ricky and Lenny are at the hospital with the two kids, and she's like she leaves her. I'm like that got me. I was like that is insane.
But I think that just like this series is at its strongest when giving Ricky Gervais his complete arc, and almost like because the first series is almost less built on the whole idea of he's coming to terms with it. The first series is kind of built on I'm a bit of a cunt, I'm going to be a bit of a cunt.
Yeah.
I think that's how the show gained some traction because obviously the clips of him calling a child a ginger cunt, or
classic.
like keep your dog in a lead type stuff.
I tell you what, one of the moments like that from the third series that really made me like laugh too much when he threw the cactus through the window. It was like don't water it, you cunt. I was like, that's great.
The baby in the cafe really got me.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. The other I tweeted about this as well. I found my new favourite insult from this show is when he called Lenny a sweaty mollusk. he was like, Huggy's like, not from you, you sweaty mollusk. I was like, great, that's amazing. And that is so Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, it's very. I think he has a deal with Netflix, so I think he's going to keep. I know Afterlife is done, and Afterlife should be done.
Yeah, because that's something I want to bring up.
Don't beat a dead horse.
What did you think of the ending?
I thought it was nearly perfect, apart from it felt a little bit too much like everyone suddenly got like they brought back like the random guy from the second series and the guy that Tony goes on a date with in the second series and decides to couple them up.
Yeah, it's
the what I love. Do you know, if I say Penelope Wilton, do you know who that is?
No idea.
The woman on the bench, dead husband.
Oh yeah.
I love that actress. Great. I swear she shows up in almost. If you look through her Wikipedia, because I have done this before, I just sort of see her in so much stuff. I swear she shows up in just pretty much like anything she shows up in, I've probably watched. Anne, there we are. It's just. I love Anne and that character and that arc and
name?
Penelope Wilton.
Is that her name?
Yeah. Yeah, first one, because she shows
Look at
up,
her IMDb.
she shows up in Doctor Who. She shows up.
No, she doesn't.
In,
I do. Oh, she does. She is in Doctor Who, right? Down to.
Yeah, to be fair,
She's everywhere.
I should probably talk about this on the podcast. I really like Downton Abbey.
I've never watched Downton Abbey, but I really want to watch Downton Abbey.
The thing is though, like
Why can't I
it
find
starts
it?
off as there are these posh people you don't really like that much.
Okay.
And it's the dynamics between those and the servants. It's kind of like, and then you just grow to love, there's about 15 characters that you just grow to love each of them.
Okay. Is it on any
Just see
streaming
it.
service?
Netflix.
Is it? I might watch it.
It's-
Because this is unrelated completely. I'm like one episode away from finishing Friends for the first time, and I'm like, I need a new show. Maybe Downton Abbey's the show.
I've never done a single episode of Friends.
I was in the
don't
same
want
boat as
to.
you. I was in the same boat as you. It's pretty right.
I'm close to. I think I'm in a similar boat as you in terms of. I was going through Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and
never
I
watched
think
that.
I know there's the Americans have just put out a new series.
Yeah.
I am literally like 90% of the way through the 14th series.
Oh, okay.
So that's depressing. I need a new TV series.
I hate it when you finish it, it's like, well, what do I do now?
What do I do now?
But Friends has got a lot of people in there. Like Danny DeVito popped in.
Oh.
I was like, big up. Paul Rudd did it quite a lot.
Fair enough.
And he looks
no, he does shout.
no different at all.
Of course he doesn't.
It's mental.
Silly
But I saw
twat.
him, I was like, oh my god, that's fucking Ant-Man. That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Why?
I love that clip. That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Brilliant. Thank you.
I'm related, but...
So if you watch the end of last podcast, you will have seen.
Sorry, I just made myself laugh.
So you'll have seen that I was going to do I had a final topic, and then you made a Jimmy Savile joke. And
I did?
you
No.
made a Jimmy Savile joke. So
Sorry, that's out of context. Go watch the last episode again, because that's
Jolly
out of context.
Ranchers.
Oh, fucking Jolly Ranchers.
So Pidge don't watch the podcast because
That's what you...
Pidge doesn't watch the podcast because Pidge is a numpty. But he gave me in the cinema some Jolly Ranchers. This American sweet. And first of all, I know I'm drinking a raspberry fucking drink. Blue raspberry. What the fuck?
It's blue raspberry, not just a blueberry.
Like,
Blue raspberry's a blue...
blue raspberry is just.
Why is my keyboard so far fucking away?
Blue raspberry is genuinely like my least favourite thing in the entire world. And it's just like a Jolly Rancher, it's just like a hard...
That is the most genetically modified fucking...
Lovely bit of GM.
Yeah, that is mental.
Well, the first picture says what is blue raspberry flavour, so that can't
Yeah.
be actual thing.
So what is blue raspberry then? It's just blueberry, isn't it?
Like,
Let's
I
be honest with
genuinely would rather die than have another blue raspberry.
I didn't have one, I refused.
Like, genuinely,
Not
the thing is
doing
though, it's like a hard thing, so it's not exactly like you can just like get it down. If I swallow it, I'll just fucking choke on the cunt. Like, it's Jolly Ranchers are genuinely awful.
I'll get some for the next podcast.
No, I won't have one. I won't.
The
You,
Bible one,
you
I
can just
won't have
spend. You can spend the podcast torturing yourself. You will not get me to have one.
I'll try one next podcast. I won't because I don't want to.
They are genuinely.
I think
fucking
American
horrendous.
candy is just shit. There's not one. I've been to America. I'm lucky enough to been to America twice.
Twat.
None of the candy that I had was good night. It was all shit.
And these are.
It was even their chocolate is shit. How is that possible?
Have a bar of dairy milk, you silly
Oh,
twat.
I'll have a Hershey's. Why would you do that? It's terrible.
It's like.
They just
Mental.
like however much sugar something's got in it, they just chuck another fucking 4 cups of it. There you go. I'm like, that's not nice. Like,
And it's not even like weak because like, American candy shops in the UK do exist, but they are so overpriced. Like,
yeah.
not only can you not like try anything because it's just we don't have the bank balance of bloody Elon Musk, but even if we could, then we can't even try a whole range. We can't even go back and buy more because guess what? There's none of the shops. American candy's just awful.
American candy is shite.
Americans have like loads of like flavours of like Pringles as well.
Oh, do they?
Like those like comparison videos where
Oh yeah, like Food Wars.
Food Wars. I watched like the Pringles one, and like they have some weird ass flavours.
Some of these are just Like, what is... Like,
Milk
Hershey's
duds.
is terrible. Milk duds. What the fuck is a milk dud?
Chocolate
Candy made with
caramel.
chocolate caramel. Absolutely
Fifth
not.
Avenue. Oh, could there be anything more American?
Where's that? What the
There could be
fuck?
something more
Sorry,
American.
must the tears, that shit.
There's something called
Sweet
Fifth Avenue.
tarts. Sounds like talking about Americans. Twizzlers. Oh my god, what is that? Twinkie. Have you had a Twinkie?
I have not.
It's the most disgustingly sweet, vile, sickly piece of cunt in the world. It's... Look at that.
Oh, that's even more grim.
Oh, what the f...
Mint chocolate Twinkie.
It's vile. I don't think it was that
It was real fun to do that.
It's ridiculously... What is that?
Ghostbusters.
Fucking Ghostbusters. They are the most disgusting
Banana Twinkie. Honestly.
I don't like American.
I don't like American cakes, sweets, chocolates and Pringles.
What? I want to know what Pringles they have now.
Yeah, American Pringles are
I can't spell.
weird. We could... That thing is that could be our Mediocre best video for the day, is reacting to
Tier list.
to
Oh my god.
reacting to the,
Honey mustard. Oh my god.
that's what we should do. We should react to
That
the
sounds
food.
nice.
We
Make
should
us
react to the
barbecue.
food wars of
That.
this.
Buffalo ranch. Oh, fucking ranch. Get
Ranch.
ranch. Pickle. Oh, fucking hell.
Pickle is the most disgusting thing anyway. Put it on crisp. Fuck off.
Pizza. What does that mean? Because pizza. You have so many different types of pizza. What do you mean, pizza? That's like a vegetable. It's like, that narrows it down. Fucking pizza. It's just, of all people, the Americans would know that.
I genuinely do think we should react to the food war for this on this
I
channel.
think we will. Might already be up.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Oh no,
Card.
I've got my
Card.
JPEG. We can not JPEG the other one. PNG. I know what I'm talking about.
Lovely.
Lovely stuff.
I'm really scared of something, and it's kind of weird. We talked about this.
Oh, I've got a comment on a video. Sorry, I just
Alright.
I don't know. I just want to see a video.
So, have you ever been to a castle, my love?
It's a Marvel musical. Yes, this video is so good. Sorry.
Have you ever been to a castle?
Define. What do you mean castle though? Like.
As in, the UK has many of its old castles that you can go and visit. Have you ever been to a castle?
Not like. Oh yes, I have actually. Is it a castle? I don't know. I don't think I have.
Well, this will be the determining thing. Did that castle have a spiral staircase?
Oh, it did. Oh my god, no. St. Michael's Mound in somewhere. Have you ever been to St. Michael's Mound? Because that's a lovely
Yes.
place. It's like you can only get there, and then the water goes, you're stuck. Lots of spirals. You don't like spiral staircases, do you?
So, if you've ever, obviously, you know, this is mainly a UK thing because, you know, obviously we have all the old forts and stuff. In lots of castles around the UK, they have spiral staircases, and obviously, you know, it's just going up in a staircase without taking up much horizontal room. Great concept. Not only, right, does that mean there's very little of the step that's wide enough for you to stand on, because obviously the step is shrinking as it goes inwards.
Yeah.
But those things have been known to be wet, and they are like cracked, and like genuinely every time I walk up a spiral staircase I feel like I'm going to die.
Such an overreaction.
No, it's not. I
know what you mean though,
it
like
scares
because
me.
the stairs are like triangles. It's like it's so. It's if anything, it's more like for me. It's more awkward to walk up them because like
Terrifying.
because they're old, they're uneven, they're triangles. There's no room for your foot, and so if you fall, you're gone.
It just makes me want to curl up into a ball and die.
I don't know. Spiral staircases
Going
are-
down them as well, because
you got that. If you like,
because I don't want to say like erosion, but like, you know, because of them being stepped on over time, a lot of
They're
the
like-
steps are slightly slanted
Yeah.
downwards.
that's what I mean. So if you fall, you're just going to keep going.
I mean, if you slip on a spiral staircase, man's just gonna plummet all down and
Man's
down
gonna
and
plummet.
down the Pringles tube.
and then you're done.
Like,
The Pringles have come full circle, Bessie.
spiral staircases are evil.
They actually are though.
I genuinely hate them. I hate them.
But they're just. I think they are just awkward to walk down.
There's
no elegant way to walk down a spiral staircase.
I'm not ashamed to admit, they terrify me.
They actually like irrational fear of...
Rational? Sorry? You genuinely think about, if you fall down one of those, you're dead.
That's not true.
The amount of tumbling and head blocks and wiggly wobbly woo.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
Like,
I think you're severely like overestimating.
Also, those bastards, they are made of like stone.
Yeah.
Like hit your head from a height on a big block of stone.
Yeah,
what do you think's gonna happen?
I don't know, but like there's something to stop you. You can put your arms out.
Yeah, but if you trip over and fall.
Oh, I thought about going down. Going up there, you're probably dead. But going down, you can be like, okay.
But going down, you could still, fall on your back. You know, we're still talking about, a decent bit of paralysation.
That's a decent classic paralysation.
Hello, mate. You're classic paralysed. I love how sometimes we just make like similar jokes, and sometimes you look at me and I'm like,
what have you just said?
You didn't say anything worse than me.
Oh my god. So I got an email on my Founder Master email, so like the one I use for YouTube and Twitch and everything.
Okay.
I got an email from Twitch, right?
Oh god.
And I think it's like an automated one that gets sent once you reach like a certain thing.
Okay.
And so it was basically saying you can now like start looking at like Twitch sponsored streams. So I was like, So I looked into it. The only game that is available at the moment is Raid Shadow Legends. And I looked at it and I was like, there is no way in hell I'm doing a Raid. I was like, what's the game? And it was like Raid Shadow. I was like, no, I shut the window. I was like, I'm not doing a sponsored Raid Shadow Legends stream.
Absolutely love
you to do I sat there for I was like, if I did it, it would only be like ironic. But I was like, I don't think I could bring myself to do a Raid Shadow Legend.
These days, if anyone's doing a brand deal with Raid Shadow Legends, it's an ironic
It's a meme, isn't it? Oh, I might have to do it. Raid Shadow Legends stream.
Make some money.
Yeah, I was like, it's Raid fucking Shadow Legends.
Doesn't matter, mate. Get that dosh.
Get that dosh.
No, literally.
But yeah, I thought you'd enjoy that. I fucking Raid Shadow Legends. I was like, you are joking.
Honestly, like, I don't get how their marketing budget works in terms of what, because if you are like buying a brand deal off a YouTuber with what, 1 million subs,
yeah,
like YouTubers don't talk about brand deals quite often, but whenever they talk about brand deals, they usually mention 4 figures.
Yes, yeah.
So every time they want like here, there, everywhere, especially because you're not talking about one block of views. A lot of those views are happening to multiple people.
Yeah.
Like multiple views per one person in terms of, say Will does a Raid Shadow Legends and Jack does a Raid Shadow Legends deal. Someone could watch both of those, so they're not targeting new people. How is that worth like that? Could be more than £1,000 as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's worth it every time.
Yeah, like Max Foss released a video yesterday where he put like some of his dad's dad jokes on the Angel of the North.
Okay.
Cracking video, and it cost like £3,000, and he was sponsored by Curve. So I was like, well then, like I was like, it's baffling, like the amount of the figures that must get thrown round.
Curve's even weirder because I this is not sponsored. I swear Curve gives you a free £5 for the YouTubers that you give codes to.
If you sign up with like a YouTuber's code, you get a free £5 from it. So it's like they must be giving out because people are more likely to click on that link than if it's click on this link to play Raid Shadow Legends or click on this link, get a card and you get a free £5. You're going to click on that one more. So they must be giving away so much money, giving them like 4 figures. It baffles my brain, Jones.
The only brand deals you mainly see these days are what? Raid Shadow Legends,
any VPN,
or like a honey or
pouch,
Yeah.
So it's
because I swear I've
seen
Curve like twice, maybe 3
Curve
times.
pops up here and there, but yeah, I don't understand.
Or some form of headphones.
Yeah. But the figures that get thrown around is mental.
If anyone wants to sponsor the Mediocre Best podcast,
Preferably Rubicon.
Honestly, if it's a fiver, we'll do it.
Yeah, just
we will pimp ourselves
give us
out
a quid.
Genuinely.
Comment
down below. If your bank transfer me 50p, I'll give you a little brand deal.
We'll give you a little 50p for like 30 seconds. And,
50p for the entire podcast.
Yeah.
I'll do this shit for
free. Quid and we'll do the whole. What was that laugh? That was very melodic. That was very good.
Thank you very much.
Make a beat out of that. If we recorded, someone sample that and just
To be fair though, people probably could.
They should. If anyone's watching that could do that, can you do that? Make me very happy.
No, please don't.
No, please.
It actually is kind of embarrassing, to be fair. Like my laugh is energetic.
Your laugh's great. Good. That's
good. I can't
No, it's a really good laugh. It's different. And it's contagious, that's the thing. If you laugh, everyone's gone. It is though.
What a guy.
Oh my god, when we went to the cinema to watch No Way Home, we're a nightmare.
Because my laugh is distinctive, to say the least. So there'll be something that, even before the film started.
It was ridiculous. It was just us three. It was just me, you and Pidge to start with, just sat there.
I think most of you will experience this. Obviously, with friends, you get into certain moods, and sometimes, 2 or 3 people will get into a certain mood where everything that's being said is just laugh out loud funny.
Yeah. Even though it's not. But
it's not, because you're so used to laughing, you're just continually cracking jokes. And we got into one of those stages, during the ads of
Well, it started before, and then we sort of calmed down a bit, and you just go, "Oh, the trailers,"
because everyone it's Odeon, isn't it?
It's Odeon, I think.
It's just I just love it. Just
the trailers. I love the trailers.
And now for the bit everyone loves, the trailers. Ooh yeah. I love the trailers. Ooh, especially chosen for this film, actually.
Bit of Stephen Merchant.
We're especially chosen for this film, actually.
I sure we did that in the Christmas podcast.
Yeah.
Literally
It's
iconic. Like you just went, the traits. and that was it, we were gone.
And it's obvious, I think we pissed off a couple of people.
And then the bartender came and took our fucking drinks and snacks, the little bit. This might be a common thing, but I've never...
I got lulled into a false sense of security, because I remember once going into, I think it was Odeon, but it might be Cineworld, and they went, "We're just going to check your bags. Genuinely, it's just to check alcohol. If you've got snacks in there, that's sound."
Yeah.
And from that, I was curious, and I googled it. You are apparently you're perfectly with it, or it's something like most cinemas won't care. But I think that's also because the cinema in Falmouth,
there's loads.
It has an usher.
It's legal. It was fucking illegal before. That's mental. What?
And I can understand why cinemas would want to crack down on it, because if you didn't know, I found this very interesting. So obviously the way the cinemas work is they negotiate deals with the distributors of films for percentages of how much how much Disney would take away, for example, and how much the cinema would take away. I know, for example, Disney's quite aggressive with that sort of thing, compared to other studios which are a little bit less aggressive. But obvious, so it's actually the cinemas make more money. Cinemas themselves make more money off snacks and drinks than actual
ticket sales
and adverts as well.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So it does make sense that because if we got that card, because in our cinema you can get, I think it's our card for £12 and you get £2.50 off a ticket, so that would make the tickets about £5.
Because I'm going on Wednesday, so I could have saved money.
Oh, why are you going to see on Wednesday?
I'm going to see the Kingsman, James.
The Kingsman.
So next podcast,
the Kingsman. We'll do a full The Kingsman review, because I thought it was fucking dreadful.
I haven't seen it yet. But yeah.
So I can understand that for their profit margins, and also because they are a small
yeah,
cinema.
it wasn't like a Cineworld and Odeon and View. It was like
Let's face it, Cineworld. Even if they can just chuck 20 heads into a cinema, and they can make half that money. You know, they made like what, 100 quid a room.
Cineworld don't have to worry.
But I can kind of see it. But then again, from the consumer side of things, I have paid for those things for that specific, like, and I did eat though the bag of popcorn, but like I just kind of ate it a couple of days later in front of a film at home. Like, it really wasn't the same experience.
So like in my head now, I just won't eat anything in there. Then if I have to buy it now, I'm not paying money to buy it.
Or I'm just gonna have to. It's more like because they also stole my drink.
That's the issue.
They did give it back at the end, but it's like, I don't have any drink on me.
Yeah, it's like if I start choking to death.
I mean, technically, the problem was the film was about to start, because I think legally, because I know for restaurants, if you ask for a free water, they have to give it to you.
Yeah, but that's glass of water. I think bottles you have to pay for anywhere.
I think you can ask for a bottle to be filled up some places. Then again, I didn't even have a bottle on me, so it's kind of like, I'm sorry,
I need a drink.
Like you are literally asking me to go without liquid for
3 hours.
And we were watching Spider-Man, so that was a 3-hour film. And I think that's a bit wrong to go to like popcorn, fine, drink, that's too much for me.
The other thing with that cinema trip that pissed me off, the amount of people that got up and walked out, like to go to the toilet or something. It was like Piccadilly Circus. I was like, can we sit the fuck down, please? Because it's ridiculous. I'm not joking. The first 20 minutes of the film was fine. On from that, at least every 2 minutes, someone was getting up and buggering off somewhere. I was like, what are we doing? This is fucking Spider-Man. Sit. Someone got up, spoilers, someone got up and went out at the dining room scene. I was like, I almost felt like, mate, just leave it 2 minutes, twat. I
am a very tactical weir when I go to cinema, because I genuinely have a weak bladder. I need to go to, I need a piss quite regularly, I'd say.
You said that like it was a flex. You're like, I'd say, I do say so myself.
Do need quite a lot of wheeze, you know. To be fair, it's because, I try and keep myself well hydrated, drink a lot of fluids. So what I will do is, this might sound weird, I will go for a wee when I get to the cinema. I'll sit there, and then if I either feel the urge to wee again, or I haven't felt the urge to wee, I will still go during the adverts. Not the trailers, because I love the trailers. Oh yeah, the trailers.
That's
sensible, actually. And what that does, that gets enough out of my system. So I probably still will need a wee when it finishes, but it's tactical enough that I have rarely needed to go during it. I don't know why I'm doing this.
I think that's very strange. But I can't comprehend because some people went up twice within 10 minutes. I was like, please, can we sit down? There are people in front of us, they're at the end of things, they have to all stand up. I was like, you are taking the piss. And it's not a cinema, cinema, the seats are like this. So whatever happens, you can all sit.
Yeah.
But the seats were sort of not as ranked, so you couldn't see if they stood up. I was like, this is ridiculous. How do we all need to stand up? Sit down, enjoy the film.
One of the things I won't criticise people for, because I saw quite a few people in the last couple of weeks going, why are most people in my audience walking out during the credits of No Way Home? I think because it's 1 minute to the end of the film till you get the first end credit scene. You might as well wait and stay for that.
Yeah,
if you've already seen, especially as the Doctor Strange 2, fuck!
Doctor Who 2 Strange 2.
Fuck! Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange 2 trailer has already been released online.
That's literally you don't need to stay for that anymore. The Doctor 2 Strange 2.
Man's got Doctor Who on the mind.
You're just constantly thinking of Doctor Who.
I love it, man. I love it.
But I know what you mean, yeah. Now it's been released, like, not even like leaked. It's been professional. Like Marvel have released that now, so you need to.
Stay if you want.
Oh yeah, I'm not
it's
saying.
not the opposite. I'm not going. You must leave.
No,
the
but
trailer is online.
If people wait till fucking Tom Hardy shows up and does a little thing, fine. Do that, but don't wait to.
I genuinely forgot that Tom Hardy scene was the mid. Like,
It's pointless. It is the most. The problem, right? That my problem with that is, No Way Home was such a massively anticipated film for good reasons. It delivered. The post-credit scenes of like MCU films are so like that's anticipated as well. So when it's something like that, I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm kind of annoyed that Doctor Strange 2 was the end credit scene because I was a bit like,
really?
I'm glad we got the teaser for it, but I'm like, I kind of wanted a bigger like. Because we knew Doctor Strange 2 was happening. In fact, like, I wouldn't be as mad if the mid-credit scene was better than just Tom Hardy's Venom drunk and then going and you seeing a bit of the symbiote. I was like, well, we knew that, whatever. Like, it just felt a bit like...
Right.
Because we knew Venom was going to be there from the post-credit of Venom 2. So it's like, it's no surprise that he's in the film at all, because he was going to be there. Like,
I'm going to be a lot more positive about the end credit scenes. So from my perspective...
I've got no drink.
There's a tap.
I know, that's a lot of effort.
So from my perspective, having seen Venom Let There Be Carnage, the worst film I saw last year, I'm not joking, it was fucking dreadful.
Great.
I saw the end credit scene and went, oh god, we're going to have to deal with Tom Hardy's Venom in No Way Home, please end my existence. Now having seen No Way Home and realising if any, like all he did was the end credit scene, fine. Like,
Yeah.
I'd
rather that than it be like a main character.
I'm alright with that. That's sound by me.
Oh. Go on, sorry.
And the end credit scene, I agree they needed to do a Doctor Strange 2 trailer.
Yeah.
Like they need to do a scene based on that character, because the whole thing that was promised, which really hasn't been playing out really, was that it was gonna be WandaVision into No Way Home into Doctor Strange in kind of like a multiversal arc, which
it's been subtly
maybe Doctor Strange 2 will do that, but it hasn't been the case. But because Doctor Strange was in that and then had his own film, that kind of needed to be one of the two credit scenes, especially because the film doesn't. The film itself doesn't really do much to set up that. But what I would have liked to have seen was more of like a prequel, like a 2-minute prequel. That's the best way to put it, rather than just this is footage. It's like when when you have footage from. Like, I remember one of the Ant-Man post-credit scenes was just the scene with Bucky with his hand, like, in the vice from Civil War.
Yes.
And, like, that's lazy. Like, one of my quick examples that I can think of, just because it was one of the more recent ones, Captain Marvel's end credit scene was a scene that was not in Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
So it sets up Endgame and it set up Carol coming into the Endgame world, and that was and that was great, whilst it not being a scene.
Yeah, I think it would have been nicer to have Doctor Strange post-credit scene, but him like before multiverse, in between knowing him in Multiverse of Madness, that sort of thing, as opposed to he's now in the Multiverse of Madness sort of thing. But yeah, I don't like Venom as a villain. So the fact that everyone's like, oh, Venom's in the MCU, I'm like, oh, yeah, fucking joy. Prick. It's that thing, I've said it before, I don't think I've said it on the podcast. I don't like when a villain is just an evil version, same powers as the hero. Is
Venom and Spider-Man really too?
It's not.
It's like, for me, that's my thing when that was one of the things I also didn't like about. Because obviously, one of the big famous things is Venom versus Carnage. They're just the same things. So who cares? Spider-Man and Venom
the example I use is the fight in Black Panther. Black Panther's a great film, but the main fight, I find boring because none of them can do anything, because they have pretty much the same set of powers.
Obadiah and Iron
Man, that's kind of okay,
Incredible
but it's
Hulk.
still a bit weak. Abomination and Hulk,
Ant-Man,
and I don't like that as a theme of the villain isn't evil version. I'm like, come on, like
some of the Shang-Chi stuff.
Yeah, because then the fight scenes are just they're all like they literally. It's like when the Avengers can't kill each other in the first film because they're all like equally matched. That's what it's like with the villains. It's like, well, they're all so like.
That's probably one of the reasons why Spider-Man and Batman have such an iconic rogues gallery.
So different.
It's the difference of you've got to have people that can. For example, you know, if Doctor Strange has his villain as Zemo, so they've got to be on similar power levels.
Yes, it's got to be similar theme. I think like Spider-Man and Doc Ock, they're both science-centric. They're all science-centric. But they're like even Green Goblin, it's all the origins are all like sciencey, but it's not like we can all shoot webs.
Yeah.
It's like he's got metal arms, you can shoot webs. I can see there's Octopus and Spider, you know, there's something here, but it's not like exactly the same powers.
I'm personally not sure Venom and Spider-Man are two similar powers. I think for me, not only have I seen enough of Venom in terms of Spider-Man 3, in terms of 2 Venom films, I think there are other more interesting places to go. I'd prefer the MCU to properly build for Sinister Six.
I think there are better Spider-Man villains that we haven't seen that I want to see. Some we've seen, but not like Scorpion. I'm still confused at Scorpion because he was teased, and then they haven't done fuck all. It's like, well, don't give us hope that Scorpion's going to be a thing, and then not do anything. I'd like to see a decent Rhino, because Rhino's a pretty solid villain, but we saw how that went. And to be fair, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man summed it up perfectly in No Way Home. We said, I fought a massive guy in like a rhinoceros. I was like, yeah, that is pathetic. Like, that, yeah, I think Rhino could be done really well, but that's the thing, is the MCU, I think, could do any villain well, if they give them the right like development.
That's going to be one of the problems going forward, is not only can Tom Holland not have his own iconic Spider-Man, but then however much I want, you know, Andrew Garfield to have a Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 3, that's just going to dilute the brand more with more like and with Batman, the example I had earlier, like that isn't a problem because not only has some some of his iconic ones have been done, but you know, not very well, so you can, you know, go back and revisit, you know, your Penguin and your Riddler like the new film is doing. But that man just has so like I could probably name 10 Batman villains before I could name 3 Iron Man films.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? People are like, the way I look at it is, I think where a hero's done better, I'd say Marvel. Where a villain's done better, DC. It's got to be DC. Like, I don't like DC, but the villains are so much better.
I'm psyched for Batman, to be fair.
I love like the Riddler is one of my favourite villains of all time. I love the Riddler and Penguin. Big up Penguin.
I know this is probably going back to my Doctor Who bias.
David.
I would love to see David Tennant as the Riddler.
I think
that would be that is like, if you've seen and also this is someone as a massive David Tennant fan, I've actively searched out most of the things he's done. Yeah. He has the range to pull off. That man.
He'd be a great
Riddler. I don't think he'll ever get the chance to do it, because obviously the Riddler's in the new film. Yeah. And then by the time the Riddler comes back into live action again, he'll probably be too old for it.
Yeah.
That's a shame. That's a massive shame.
Because he'd be a great Riddler.
He'd be a fantastic Riddler. Truly amazing.
I want to go back to Sinister Six. If you could build, first of all, do you think we could have MCU versions of Doc Ock, Green Goblin? Because I don't think we can. I think they've, like, as much as I loved No Way Home and how they brought all the villains, I think they've kind of scuffed it for having.
I mean, in terms of Green Goblin, I'm happy not for.
I would never see anyone else as Green Goblin now.
And also that
even Alfred Molina, I don't think I'd ever see another.
But in terms of Green Goblin, we've done. You know, we've done Norman. Harry. We've done Harry.
It's like it's happened.
I did. You know, because I watched Amazing Spider-Man 2 in the lead up to No Way Home. You know, the villain in the Muppets movie.
What?
You know the villain in the Muppets?
The first one.
Yeah.
Tex Richmond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays Norman. Because Norman's like died.
No, he's not.
Tex Richmond is Norman Osborn, and I found that really
Which one?
funny.
What, the second one?
In Amazing Spider-Man 2.
You are joking.
Tex Richmond.
Oh, I can't ever watch. I won't be able to watch it now. Oh my god, it is!
Tex Richmond.
That's amazing. I love that.
I love it so much.
What a champ. Big up Tex Richmond.
Big up Tex.
That's a niche reference. Fucking Tex
If you know who Tex Richmond is, you're one of the OGs.
But I don't think we can see an MCU version of a lot of villains now. I think Sandman I loved, but because we didn't see his face really, and we saw a
Sandman and
reshot.
Lizard can be done.
Like
Electro's probably
Electro. I don't think we. Yeah, I think Electro, Doc Ock, and Green Goblin. I don't think we could do. I think that's been, but that opens it up for like we can get another Rhino. He didn't do much.
We can get another Rhino.
Can we get Jake Gyllenhaal back as Mysterio, please? Can we have him? I like him. He's cool.
If
Vulture, let's have Michael Keaton back.
Michael Keaton is pretty much just producing because he's
in Morbius.
He's in Morbius in one way or another, and he's coming back as Batman in The Flash, and I think he's done a couple of other things.
So he's
as
pretty
Batman.
booked.
So, thing is though, let's face it, we'd need at least a couple of films more to build up a Sinister Six.
But where do you think, like, because now obviously, Tom Holland's Peter Parker is now, as like in the new trilogy, is going to be at college or uni, whatever how the Americans work. Do you think, because obviously when Norman was there, he's like, oh, Oscorp doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah. So clearly Norman Osborn isn't a big thing in the MCU. Do you think we'll start to see, like, your Dr. Kirk Connors will pop in, you'll see someone will be, oh, I'm Dr. Octavius, and they'll be like, you're fucking not. Because I think that would be awkward. If he walks into a class and the guy at the front's like, oh, I'm Dr. Octavius, that I feel a bit like...
But it's a thing with, like... Because where are any more like actual iconic Spider-Man? Because even Craven the Hunter is getting his own film, so he's not going to be involved in the Tom Holland verse.
Don't tell me what I meant. Look how fucking... I know what I mean.
Obviously, Morbius is getting done. I think Black Cat's getting her own wee thing.
All of these have been... Like, they've all been
Carnage
done.
has been done.
You look at these where it shows like the iconic villains for Spider-Man, they've all pretty much been like... Oh, it's a shame, isn't it? I think, because we've had three different trilogies, obviously one with 2 films. I think we've just sort of... Spider-Man's very oversaturated.
It's a shame. But
it's a shame.
And it's also the mistake that previous films have made, where they've shoved too many villains in. You know, it's the famed example of Spider-Man 3 has Venom, Sandman, and Harry Osborn, Green Goblin, and also Spider-Man being evil in the Venom series.
Buddy Maguire.
And then Amazing Spider-Man 2 had to do with Rhino, Electro, Green Goblin again.
Yeah.
Like, it's oversaturated
let's focus on... And actually, I think that's one thing that Tom Holland's trilogy, the first 2, did very well, with literally having Mysterio is the villain, Michael Keaton is the villain. That's it. It was like, but obviously you had like Hydro Man and things like that, but that was still Mysterio being Hydro Man. So I was like, well done, you've done good.
I don't think anyone's really calling for the fucking elementals to come back.
I'm so happy that was just Mysterio.
Yeah, that was... if they were a full villain, that would just be a bit
mental.
Everyone saw that twist coming though, let's face it. It's one of those... That's what I like a film to do almost, is to telegraph its twist so much that you almost, it's almost so obvious that you forget about it.
Yeah. Then when it happens, you're like, oh, of course.
Because I seeing all the trailers and stuff, it's going like, oh, Mysterio's the villain, and then you kind of go into it, and you're almost just so soaked up into it
that you forget that he's the villain. Solid.
Very nice.
Big solid from big Kevin Feige.
Moving away from Spider-Man, but going back to the cinemas, because there was something we're talking about with cinemas that I do want to talk about. Something that I think more should do. So when I think it was last night in Soho I saw In This Way. Absolutely lovely date.
I'm trying to think where this is going.
Because I don't think you know this story. Because I think if you're trying to pull, cinema dates are pretty pointless, especially for a first date.
Wait, I don't know if you've told me or someone else. I've definitely spoken about this recently with someone.
I might be waffling.
No. Someone.
So there is like, because obviously you want to get to know someone.
Yeah.
And I think especially cinema dates for a first date is pretty pointless.
It's like doing that in the dark where you can't speak.
Do you know a way to make it good is a cinema date? And obviously, I've had this experience with holes.
I think
so
you have
therefore,
spoken to me about this. I've heard this somewhere.
What it was in the same cinema, but in one of their rooms, like half of it's normal seats, half of it's like sofa seats with like 2 people.
That's
so
amazing.
we could literally...
Where's that?
In
one
of the
here?
screens, yeah. And so you could literally...
That's amazing.
Take your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, dog, and like...
That's so cool.
And literally, like... Obviously, you know, there are a lot of people in there. We weren't like doing anything or anything or other. But we could literally just have a decent snuggle for the film.
That's such a great idea. Good on it. That's such a good idea.
Lovely.
Them.
We actually got to scrounge our sacks then, which was nice.
Did you buy them there or did you?
No, we we bought.
That's normal person.
I think I am just going to come in with a bag, wait till the lights go down.
That's just weird. Wait till the film starts.
The thing is though, what it is because before a film starts, I will always open things because you're just a cunt. But I'm sorry. If it means that I can't have a wee bit of fucking popcorn in the cinema, I'm gonna be a rude arsehole. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Just wait for a loud bit and just go bang, pop.
Exactly. Pop.
Popcorn. Pop. That's quite good. Mouth suction.
Oh, John Carl's got a new vlog. That's exciting.
Oh, has he?
I swear, every time we film something, he just pops a wee vlog up.
Pops a wee bit of content on, thank you.
Big up, John.
What a man.
That's all of my shit.
All of your shit?
Yeah.
Very right, okay.
To be fair, this is like pretty far away. We've had like 3 clips, like 3 lots of stopping that. 2?
We
stopped because of battery like 10 minutes in, didn't we?
I think it was more like 15 to be fair, but thing is though, I put this down, but I'm not actually sure I want to talk about it.
Don't talk about them. Simple as that.
You know, let's see if we just go politicians dumb, no,
it can be
we
cut
can
out.
stop.
Politicians dumb, you're not wrong.
What the fuck?
Just politicians. What the fuck?
Like genuinely, I don't think anyone has. I think it got to the stage this week where people are almost so desensitized to stuff that I think there are very few people that have actually stopped and thought and gone, I'm sorry, what? So they're talking about pretty much every week there was some form of party.
I agree.
During a major lockdown.
How shit our government is.
Like,
where we're at the point where, oh yeah, that happened, yeah. That should be like the fuck? But we're like, yeah, that happened.
Like, there have been quotes talking about, like, some of the MPs would literally pop to the local Tesco and fill up a fucking mini fridge of, like, wines, beers.
It's like, what? What the fuck?
They're the cunts leading us! I'm sorry, they're the ones. Like, that's the law. I saw something on Twitter.
I think we need just a massive, like...
Cull.
Yeah, I think we just need to restart, to be honest. Like, I might get, like, murdered for this. I think we should, like, stop... I think we need to change the royal family up. I think we need to sort the government out. I think we should have a little redo as a country. Let's look at ourselves and think, this isn't ideal. Can we have a bit of a think about what we're doing? So,
have you heard of the politician Priti Patel?
I have.
So, I actually kind of have a little bit of beef with Priti.
Okay.
In terms of, before she got a major seat in cabinet, she was kind of like a lower minister, but she was making some decisions. I couldn't be specific with this, but she was making some decisions in terms of planning that was making life quite difficult for my mum.
Okay.
In her job, because she works with planning stuff.
Yeah.
So her actions as a politician were actively making my mum's life and her job a little bit harder. Okay. Which obviously I'm gonna have a little bit of angst to that.
You didn't tweet Priti Patel.
No, I haven't tweeted Priti Patel. Georgia, I follow Georgia Tennant.
Okay.
And fucking hell, the Tennants are getting mentioned a lot in this.
They're getting a lot.
And she retweeted something, and just with the caption, "This has aged well, babe." So she retweeted a Priti Patel tweet, and this is from early January this year, and it goes, "This illegal gathering was an insult to those hospitalised with COVID, our NHS staff, and everyone staying at home to protect them. Thanks to the police." And it's talking about a 300 people party. You're doing the exact same thing, you twat.
I actually hate politicians.
Like, you have just been shown up
Why would
to
you
look
do
like
that,
an
though?
absolute tosspot.
I just can't fathom like why they go. This is a solid idea. This we'll do it. Like it's not even like they were doing like almost a business. No, it wasn't. You were just sat having some red wine and cheese, you silly Tory. Like
how? Like you always hear, and like I suppose in like American like shows they go like, oh yeah, we're like impeach. I swear, after a lot of things they're talking about like impeaching Trump or something. Can we not do that?
Can we do that?
Is there some way that we? Because I know we can call for a general election or something.
Oh, we need more than a general election.
There is a way, but like, is there not a way we can go? You have literally broken the motherfucking law.
Yeah. Like, that is a big deal. Like, can we sort something out there? Can we tell them to fuck off?
Baffles me.
You see what Jack's done, Jack, mate? What is it?
Yes, no.
That's class. I was like, you go for it.
I saw.
It's getting released tomorrow, I think.
I saw a tweet that was something like he's like, did he get arrested for it?
Right, I don't know if that was a bit or whether he did. I don't know.
I saw something saying he got released.
For context, Jack mate has done a video. It's not released as of yet, but it'll be out by the time we see this. Where basically he got like 100 odd people to dress as Boris Johnson and like protest outside 10 Downing Street,
like singing things like "This is the worker man" and like funny stuff like that.
Which obviously is quite a big thing. And he's been posting like on Twitter and Instagram saying like that he got arrested and things like that. And I can't tell if it's part of a bit for the video or whether he actually did. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, to be fair, because that's like a. But like Alfie Indra was there, Robbie Knox was there, like. Stevie, like they all like four of them went and were just like, yeah, fuck off.
I saw him. I saw him go. Can anyone get to London?
I saw that, and I was like,
and I was genuinely like, I was half tempted to say, yeah.
I saw that exact tweet. And I was like, oh, I really fucking want to.
I should have done it to you now.
But yeah, like there's a big thing to like that takes balls. He said
that made proper mainstream news.
He said on his podcast about he was saying how Nico Olanda, the things he does. Like the balls that takes, he's like, I'd never have the balls to do anything that he does. And then he like goes and gets 100 Boris Johnson styles outside. I'm like, sorry, you've just done that, Jack. Like,
I go on a proper Nico spree like every 3 months.
I've never watched a full Nico Olanda video. The only content I've watched of Nico is when he invaded our Zoom call. Because I was like, I've got to watch it. So I gave that a bit of a watch, but I've never watched like a full Nico
video. Should we
tell
that story on this podcast? Can is that too much?
Not for to mention anyone. So basically, as part of... So COVID hit us while we're doing it at college.
Are you sure we can do this?
I'll decide later and cut it out if not. So me and... Oh, can we do this? I don't know if we can do this.
We'll keep this in. If there's enough interest in the comments, we'll tell the story.
That's true. Yeah, we're not going to. To be honest, they can just look on Nico's channel.
They probably couldn't work it out.
Yeah. Don't worry.
But to be fair, especially in the last 6 months, I've gone through the back catalogue and stuff.
I might have a look. I might have a little binge.
Nico Omalana
Have a wee look.
He'll get irritated if you call him Nico though. Nico.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing it. Because that's the only thing I know about.
Fair enough.
Because Stevie said on one of his streams, so I was like, well, I guess I can.
I could call him Nico. It's what he wants to be called. I quickly spoke about Georgia Tennant. I didn't write this down, but I actually have a topic.
Okay, about Georgia Tennant.
Not sort of.
The Tennant's getting airtime,
because. So basically, me and my mum.
Yeah.
This was in Christmas, but I feel like it's something interesting as actors for us to talk about on the pod.
Okay.
So, because one of her kids.
Yes.
Have you heard of Belfast? It's a new film.
No.
Have you heard of Belfast, the city?
That's not what you meant. I was like, yes, I've heard of Belfast.
So it's a film that one of the, I'm not sure how much of a big role she has in it, but one of the Tennant's kids is in it.
Right.
And this came up conversation. I was like, oh yeah, brilliant. Well done.
Wow.
And my mum was like, and this might have come with a bit of bitterness in terms of probably what she might have liked to have done for me.
Yeah.
But she was like, I can't remember exactly like how she said it, but it was like, yeah, but she's cleared out a leg up, hasn't she? And right, and I am not going to deny that David and Georgia's child, as a child of them two, has had a leg up from not only being the parent of famous actors, but also from the money that can be invested in going to maybe an acting class, getting an agent, that type of thing. I'm not going to deny that. Is that morally right? Because
is what morally right?
Them, like the giving of a platform to someone because they are there.
Do you mean, like, is it fair on the child to like be put into it?
No. Is it fair on
other
others?
people?
Others, because I am in two minds in the fact of, on the one hand, if I was an actor who has been successful, is well known, and my kid shows interest in acting, as a parent, I am going to try and give my child that opportunity. I think overall that's my answer in terms of, I'm supportive because as a parent, what else are you supposed to do? But I do understand the point of, obviously, that child has been raised in privilege, and it is, because even to like the smaller extent of, let's face it, if I came for a rich background, my parents would probably put me in a proper London stage school, got me an agent, and I could have like done some proper acting work by now. It's nothing.
Yeah, because like if you see them as the parents of this child, they're not. Of course, they're going to want to do everything they can to like help. Like even like if they weren't rich, weren't well known, they'd do everything. You'd hope they'd do everything they can to get their child where they want to be. They've got more financially an influence than like other people do. They're allowed to use what they like. If it was them, if the child like, didn't want to be an actor and they were like, oh, then that's a different question. But if the child's so interested in being an actor, they're within their rights to give, like to use. If they've got the money, it's difficult. It's really difficult.
The best example I can think of from where it's clearly a bad thing is, I think it's called After Earth. It's a Will Smith film with his kid in it. And I've never seen it, but it's always, said that the kid is really bad in it. And obviously that's like a co-lead in a Hollywood film that his father has almost sorted out for him, and also via the reviews has been shown that he is clearly not up to the task. That's where it's too far for me in terms of, it hasn't been due process in terms of auditions. Makes it sound like a fucking court case, but
it does sound like a court case.
But is that to me, and probably a little bit back from that, but that's roughly where the line is for me.
It's tricky. It is,
because she'll probably still have had to audition for a role like that.
Yeah, but I guess if you're a casting director and you get a file through for someone who's auditioning and you see the surname Tennant, there's no way you don't go, oh, Tennant, that's amazing.
But does that make it better because it's a leg up that the kid cannot control?
Yeah, like, that's true. Even if David and Georgia hadn't, like, helped at all, and just, like, the child has got an audition, if you see the name Tennant as a casting director, there's no way your brain doesn't go, wait, related to David Tennant? Wow, then, yeah.
And also probably, like, the genes of two actors...
Yeah.
Creating a human being, those genetics will probably create a good actor, likely, because both of them have the qualities that make a good actor. Put them together, probably going to be a good actor.
Exactly. And you got Fifth Doctor involved and all, ain't you?
Oi oi.
Don't say oi oi.
I'd say oi oi to Peter Davidson. No, I wouldn't actually.
So that's meant.
He's a lovely man.
He's a lovely guy, but I
Man.
don't know if I'd say oi oi to him.
Have you met any doctors in any...
Yeah, I've got Pete Davidson's autograph.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from?
Western Comic Con at the Tropicana.
Very nice.
So I used to love going to Comic Cons, and I wouldn't dress up. It was a lot of admin, but I used to collect these Doctor Who monthly magazines. I got so many, and then I got the 500th issue, and it came with like a magazine that was it had like the cover of the first of every Doctor in it. It's like the first time that Tom Baker was the Doctor, I had the cover of that in it. So I thought, oh, this would be cool. I could go through and get everyone's autographs on their first cover. So I went to the Comic Con, and there was Paul McGann, Pete Davidson, and I want to say Colin Baker.
Oh, it'd be Colin Baker or Sylvester McCoy.
I'd say no one else does it. And what was really funny to me there was that Pete and Colin were like next to each other, or like massive queues. Paul McGann was just walking to the hot dog stand. And I was like, he literally paused me. I was like, that's Paul McGann. What the fuck's going on? And I thought to Max, there was like not really anyone at his table. I was like, oh, Paul. I was like, it's okay, Paul. So I went and said hello to him. I didn't pay for an autograph, but I said hello to him. I was like, all right, Paul. But no, yeah, I got Pete Davidson's autograph on the front cover of his first issue, which was nice. I've met Colin. I didn't get his autograph because it's a lot of money. I was like, Colin or Pete? It's got to be Pete, innit? Let's be honest here. Like, if you would choose between Colin or Pete, would you choose? Oh, because it'd have to be Pete, wouldn't it?
Obviously.
Because I just like the Fifth Doctor, what champ.
I met Colin Baker when I was very, very young.
Oh.
I think my dad has a picture in his wallet. So I can't remember what it is. There was some form of Doctor Who event type thing going on at some point when I was about 6 or 7. And we did a lot of, so I know from that day there used to be I did a drawing of a Dalek on that day, and I think that was on our fridge for a while. Not too bad, to be fair. I know there was loads of characters about and costumes. And I know there is a picture of me, my sister, and Colin Baker in my dad's wallet, I believe.
Champ.
So that's
nice.
That's quite cool. I'd love to meet more, but it's these things are a lot of money.
Yeah, and they only tend to get the same 3, unless it's a bigger one, like London, obviously San Diego. Unless it's one of those, it's going to either be Pete Davidson, Colin Baker, or Paul McGann.
There's one in North Wales I was gonna go to a couple of years ago, and I couldn't because it's a very difficult. It's not an easy train to get there.
Right.
But that usually gets quite a few high profile people, which is quite cool. This is quite topical, and I won't make it too long because I don't think anyone cares about this Doctor Who segment for too long. It came out recently, and the news is criticising Jodie Whittaker because she's doing the London.
Right, okay.
And she's being criticised for her price.
What's the price?
I saw a tweet somewhere. Basically, long story, I think it's 80.
Okay.
And she was getting criticised that when the previous Doctor hadn't. And that is very similar, if not on the lower end. Bearing in mind also, the Comic Con itself has a hand in the price, because they want to make money off it as well. It's very similar to Doctors who have just left the role. And to be honest, I love the man. I think David Tennant is the one that charges the most.
The problem is that I'm not surprised that they're charging that much, considering she is the Doctor now.
You will literally pay £70 and you will talk to Jodie Whittaker and you will have her right thing. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to pay for that.
It's not even she's a she was the Doctor. It's she is the Doctor now. I paid that for David Tennant, and he was the Doctor years ago. Of course.
I swear Colin Baker will charge 20, 30 quid, and that man was the Doctor 30 years ago.
But you can get, but he's still the Doctor's such a prestigious role to play in in TV. Of course you fuck off.
So I don't want to spend loads of time on it on the pod because I don't think many people actually care. But I think that criticism is stupid. And Sexist.
I spent a tenner to meet and get an autograph from. I can't remember. He's the bad guy in Titanic, and he's also in Mary Poppins Returns.
Oh, any good?
Mary Poppins Returns.
Nice bloke.
He's a very nice guy, yeah. But he was sort of there. I was like, wait, Mary Poppins Returns? I don't have when he plays the captain guy in Mary Poppins Returns. I was like, oh, what champ? What hero?
So my last topic is a bit of a silly one, to be fair. We're going back to nerd stuff in terms of we're back to the MCU.
Yeah, love it.
So I watched. So Eternals came on Disney Plus, and this isn't actually about Eternals because that just causes like a big. Yeah. I was calling a big argument. I really can't be arsed with it. So I watched Eternals, and I hadn't actually watched Shang-Chi since it came on Disney Plus. But then a couple of days later, I was in a bit of a Marvel-y mood, so I decided to go back to Shang-Chi, and it kind of got me thinking. When did wizards suddenly just become public knowledge and just a thing in the MCU?
That's a very good question.
Because
everyone's like, oh yeah, you can do that.
In the first Doctor Strange, the whole point is Stevie's like, oh my god, this is mental. This can't exist. No one knows about it. It's probably it might be due to Infinity War, but then again, yeah, Doctor Strange doing some magic on the streets, but surely,
that's true. Suddenly, everyone's just like, yeah, wizards exist.
Like in Shang-Chi, like in Shang-Chi, they might have even got a bit. Like I swear, at some point it's like, so there are wizards now or something.
Yeah. There's literally a line where
it's something or other.
Yeah, that's true. When did suddenly everyone just accept
suddenly just became public knowledge? Like Ned in No Way Home is just like he already knows about the Sanctum. He goes, oh yeah, I have wizards in.
Oh my god, yeah! I can't believe I'm in the Sanctum. It was like that's meant to be like a. That's such a good point.
All of a sudden, wizards just became public knowledge in the MCU.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Doctor Strange used a spell, and they're like, wait, magic exists? But then when he says it's like Andrew Garfield, he's like, magic? So he hasn't got a clue.
Yeah.
But everyone here is like, oh yeah, magic. It's like, that's so true. It just suddenly was like public knowledge.
It's not a big thing.
No, but it's still like, why does suddenly everyone just accept that that's a thing?
Who knows?
Plot holes.
To
be fair, that's not the biggest issue with like realism in the MCU. Let's be honest. It's true though.
I don't necessarily reckon it's a plot hole. I'm just confused.
It probably is explained at some point.
I just want to know when wizards and magic became like a proper oh my god, it exists in the MCU.
Good point. I've never realised that before. I'm gonna double check because I think that's me done. Other than this isn't the topic at all. It's other than I want to start doing like themed podcasts. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like
100, like less random, just 100%.
Yeah. That's not really a topic we talk about, but I definitely look out for that where we do.
I had one more topic and I deleted it because I was kind of like, no, I don't really want to talk about that.
Oh, okay. We can say it for the next podcast if you want.
No, I just don't want to expose myself.
Can you do it after podcast? I want to know now because it's a mystery.
Basically.
Oh, you're going to say it on podcast? Oh.
I'm going to say the topic on podcast,
okay.
And you aren't. No. Basically, because we went out for drinks a couple of nights ago.
We did. It was fun.
And we talked about. So I don't know how this came up, but what we were going to do on the pod, that we said, oh, we should write that down, was because we both have Spotify and Spotify Wrapped. We should go through our top 100 songs playlist of the previous year. We did.
I don't remember that.
And then I had a look through, and I was kind of like, I don't really want the world to know that that's my top 100.
Could you do that? We might do that for a video instead of a podcast. Could we do it for a video?
I might have to be convinced to do that.
We'll do it for a video. I'm just convinced we're going to do it.
So, thank you very much for watching. The support is very, very much appreciated. Goodbye.